Hi, and welcome to Knit or Done. Today we're going to demonstrate how to cast on for a long tail cast on. The long tail means that what we draw off of our ball of yarn is a long tail, because let's say we're going to do a washcloth. Then we want about 3 times the length of the washcloth to start with, and then even more to roll off the ball, so that we have a lot of yarn to start with, and we start somewhere in the middle of that, okay? So that means that's what the long tail is all about. And then we start by putting the yarn over our needle. We can do that one of 2 ways, either without a slip knot or with a slip knot. Without a slip knot, we just put the yarn over, and then we need to make a stitch out of that. So that's going to be the first stitch. So we'll grab the yarn in our pinky, turn the hand over the yarn, and then put our finger in between the 2 legs of the yarn so that there's a twist in it. And if you put your fingers through so that there's no twist, you can also just take the point of your needle and mount it so that there's a twist. So that's the first stitch, and that keeps the stitch in place. If it were like this, nothing would hold, right? So we grab it with our pinky, hand over, finger and thumb split the 2 strands, and then we're ready to start. I'm demonstrating this with the yarn in my right hand, and in a few seconds I'll demonstrate it with the yarn in my left. So we put the point of our left needle to our thumb, up through the loop on our thumb, over to the tip of the finger, and down through the loop on the finger, and then right through the loop on the thumb again. Drop it off the thumb, and then pull lightly. Don't tighten your stitches too tight, or they'll be miserable for your first row. So there again, muscle up the thumb, up through the loop, don't take it off yet, to the point of the finger, down through that loop, carry that loop through the loop on the thumb, and then drop the loop on the thumb off, and then lightly pull it tight there. Not tight, but snug. Up, over, down, through. Up, over, down, through. And it's that same motion over and over for as many stitches as you need. Okay, so you'll have to practice that, but I'm betting in just a few minutes you'll have that, so it's really comfortable and fast. Now, we can just take that off, and I'll demonstrate with the yarn in my left hand how to do a slip knot. To do a slip knot, you just make sure there's a cross, that the 2 legs of the yarn are crossing, and then I come up under it, and I grab the bottom strand, pull that up and through, and there's my slip knot. Okay? If I'm holding it in my hands, I toss it over. There's the slip knot, there's the cross. I come up through that loop, grab the strand that was under, and tighten it. Now I just pull, and there's a little knot. So if you don't mind a knot at the very beginning of your work, do it this way, and you'll find you'll probably have a preference, so that's totally up to you. So now again, we grab with our pinky, palm up, turn the palm down, first finger and thumb through the 2 strands, and am I doing this? Whoops, I meant to do it this way. Pinky, palm over facing down, finger and thumb through, and now we're in position. We want to go up from the muscles of the thumb through the loop to the tip of the finger, down through that loop, and then loop the thumb over. And don't pull it too tight. Up, over, through, and down. Up, over, through, and down. See that? If you practice for a few minutes, you are going to get it. Whichever hand you choose to use for this, you'll be comfortable in no time. Now, when we start knitting, we have our knitted stitches loosely on our needle, and they'll be held in our left hand to start knitting, so this will be stitch 1. And you want to make sure it's nice and loose, because it can be, if it's really difficult to stitch with our first row, it's just really discouraging. So if you're learning, just start and just make it nice and loose so you can practice. Now the stitches on the first stitches here are mounted incorrectly. They're mounted actually with the leading leg is in the back, so it's easier to knit your first row through the back So there's how we do that. We just go actually through the back leg, okay? And if you're more comfortable, if it's loose enough, you're going to be perfectly comfortable going through the front leg. So practice that. Don't do it too tightly. And I hope you enjoy knitting. Thanks for joining me on Knit or Done.